Hello everyone, my name is Tony Tanzi, Infrastructure Practice Lead with Com Solutions Company. And in this tech tip video, I'd like to talk about two of the features that we can use together to perform some correlation when looking for potential machines on our network that are behaving questionably or possibly infected with some malware. And those two features are DNS sinkholing and the Botnet report. DNS sinkholing was a new feature that was introduced in 6.0. And what it allows us to do in our anti-spyware profile, under the DNS signature tab, we can now have the action of Sinkhole. And on the firewall, we configure a loopback address. That will be the loopback address that will respond for a DNS query for a malicious, potential malicious website on the internet. So whenever malicious software on the infected computer sends a query to resolve a malicious host on the internet, typically the client's query will first hit an internal DNS server, which will then query public DNS that will have to go through the firewall. If that DNS query matches an entry in the signature database, the sinkhole action can be performed. And what happens is the affected client will try to start a session with the host, but it's going to use the loopback address that we're forging from the firewall. And that forged IP address then will have the sinkhole action as part of the anti-spyware profile. And then in the threat logs, we can look for the action of sinkhole. So the steps for DNS sinkholing, for a quick review, first make sure all the antivirus updates are done on the firewall. We'll create a loopback address that we're going to use for sinkholing. So in this case, in this example, this is loopback.10. Then under our anti-spyware profile, under the DNS signature tab, we'll now have the action of DNS queries to Sinkhole and provide the IP address of that loopback interface. And that will be the forged IP that the firewall will respond to for the DNS Sinkhole. And once we have that spyware profile created, we apply that to our security policy and commit that configuration. And once we start getting hits on this DNS sinkhole, we will see in the threat log the action of sinkhole. And we can correlate that source IP address with what we may be seeing in the botnet report. So we've always had available to us the botnet report in the Palo Alto firewall. So under the monitor tab and botnet, every day the firewall will create this report. We'll have a list of source IP addresses, and if we are talking to user ID, source user information, and a description of why the behavior of this machine is questionable. So what we can do is we can start looking for correlations between the source IP we see in the botnet report and the source IP that we see in the actual threat log for the DNS sinkhole to see if we see the same IP addresses. This will give us a pretty good confidence level that this machine could potentially have an infection or have some malware on it. Again, my name is Tony Tanzi, Infrastructure Practice Lead with Com Solutions Company. Please visit www.comsolutions.com for all your networking needs. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.